In 1923, a broke Kansas shopkeeper bolted a coin slot onto a cold drink box outside his door and started collecting nickels while he slept. He never called it passive income. He called it a good box. 100 years later, that quiet little idea still works, and most people walk right past it. Number 14 on this list can run out of your garage while you're at your day job. Number 6 turns your backyard into something strangers pay by the hour to use. And number 1 takes the biggest bill you already pay every single month and flips it into a check that lands in your account instead. None of these need a fortune, a degree, or a lucky break. They need a little setup and a little patience. So before we start, hit that subscribe button because a few of these could quietly change your math. Let's count down. Number 20, bottle and can deposit returns. It sounds like something a kid does for candy money, and that's exactly why grown adults ignore free cash sitting in their recycling bin. In 10 states, every soda can and water bottle carries a nickel or a dime you already paid at the register, waiting to be claimed back. A guy in Michigan named Rob started grabbing bags left on the curb before recycling day, and within a month, he was clearing $60 to $100 just from what his neighbors threw away. The redemption machines hum in the back of grocery stores, spitting out receipts that feel like winning a tiny lottery every time. It is slow, unglamorous, and it smells faintly of stale root beer. But the beauty is that the supply never stops. People will always drink, and they will almost always toss the container without a second thought. In a deposit state, a spare hour on a Sunday can quietly become steady grocery money, month after month, from garbage that used to be somebody else's problem. Number 19, Cashback and receipt scanning apps. Every time you buy groceries, you leave money on the counter and never know it. Apps like these let you snap a photo of your receipt and earn a few cents to a few dollars back on things you were already buying anyway. The screen dings, a little balance ticks up, and it feels almost too easy. A young mom named Danielle started stacking 3 of them at once. One for receipts, one for online shopping, one for gas, and by the end of the month she had turned ordinary spending into an extra $40 or $50 without changing a single habit. It will never make you rich, and anyone who promises otherwise is selling something. But that is not the point. The point is that the money was already flowing out of your hands, and this simply catches a thin stream of it on the way past. Set it once, scan without thinking, and let the pennies pile into real dollars in the quiet background of your life. Number 18, flipping thrift store finds. Somewhere in a dusty Goodwill right now sits a cast iron skillet marked $4 that a collector online will pay $60 for. This is the whole game. You learn a category, you learn what sells, and you turn other people's clutter into your own margin. A retired mechanic named Gary got obsessed with vintage cameras, spending Saturday mornings running his hands over shelves nobody else bothered with. Within a season, he was pulling $300 a month, reselling gear he bought for pocket change. The thrill is real. That jolt when you spot something priced wrong and know it in your gut. The work is real, too. The listings, the photos, the packing tape, the trips to the post office. But there is no inventory cost to speak of, and no boss. Every store restocks constantly, so the treasure hunt never truly ends. Learn one lane, whether it is Pyrex, tools, sneakers, or old vinyl, and the racks of America become a slow, dependable river of cash. Number 17, renting out your tools. Somewhere in your garage sits a pressure washer you use twice, a tile saw from that one bathroom project, a ladder gathering cobwebs. Meanwhile, your neighbor is about to drive to a rental yard and pay $30 to borrow the exact thing you already own. Peer-to-peer rental sites now let you list those idle tools and let other people pay to use them for a day or a weekend. A carpenter named Luis realized his truck was basically a small warehouse of borrowable equipment and started renting out his generator, his carpet cleaner, and his post-hole digger. Suddenly, the stuff that cost him money to buy was earning it back. The best part is that tools do not spoil. They do not need feeding, and demand spikes every spring and summer when weekend projects begin. You set the price, you set the deposit. You meet at the driveway. The gear you already paid for, sitting in the dark, quietly starts paying you back one Saturday project at a time. Number 16. Backyard eggs. There is something almost magical about the moment a few hens turn kitchen scraps and yard bugs into a steady supply of eggs you can sell at the end of your driveway. In small towns and suburbs across America, a hand-painted sign that reads, "Fresh eggs, $5 a dozen," moves product faster than you would believe, because grocery prices spooked everyone, and people crave the real thing. A school teacher named Marcy started with 6 hens and a cooler on a stool by the mailbox, running on the honor system with a coffee can for cash. By summer, she had a waiting list. 6 good layers produce well over 2 dozen eggs a week, and once the coop is built, the ongoing cost is mostly feed and a little water. The neighbors get breakfast, the kids learn where food comes from, and the coffee can fills up quietly week after week. It will not fund a retirement, but few side hustles are this peaceful, this local, or this genuinely loved by everyone who buys in. Number 15. Selling stock photos. That phone in your pocket takes better pictures than the cameras professionals used a decade ago, and there is a whole industry hungry for ordinary images. Stock photo sites pay you a small royalty every single time someone downloads one of your shots to use in an ad, a blog, or a brochure. A delivery driver named Kevin started photographing the plainest things imaginable. Coffee cups, empty highways, hands typing on laptops, a dog looking out a rainy window. He uploaded a few hundred over a couple of months and mostly forgot about them. Then the trickle began. $1 here, a few dollars there, month after month, from photos he had taken and never thought about again. That is the quiet miracle of it. You do the work once, and a single good image can earn for years. The catch is patience and volume. One photo earns cents, but a growing library earns a paycheck. Shoot what businesses need, upload, and let a slow-building collection turn old snapshots into a small monthly stream. Number 14. Renting out your gear. Here is where the garage really starts to earn. Beyond tools, people will pay to borrow almost anything expensive they only need occasionally. Camera lenses, party tents, projectors, camping gear, a stand mixer for one big bake, even baby equipment for visiting grandkids. A photographer named Priya realized her closet of lenses sat idle most weekdays, so she started renting them out locally. Within a month, gear that had cost her thousands was generating $300 while she wasn't using it. This is the pattern nobody teaches you. Expensive stuff you already own is dead money unless it works when you don't. A single wedding tent, a bounce house, a pair of kayaks, these rent for real money every summer weekend, and they pay for themselves fast. You handle the handoff, you take a deposit, you keep it clean. The stuff sits in your garage between jobs, exactly like before, except now it earns its keep, instead of just collecting dust and quietly reminding you what you spent. Number 13. Digital printables. Somewhere out there, someone is paying $3 to download a chore chart, a budget planner, or a birthday invitation template, and that someone could be paying you. Digital products are the closest thing to true passive income a broke person can build, because you create the file exactly once and sell the identical copy 1,000 times with zero extra cost. A nurse named Ashley designed a simple weekly meal planner on free software during her lunch breaks, listed it on an online marketplace for $4, and watched it sell while she was asleep at the hospital. No shipping, no inventory, no restocking, ever. The hard part is standing out, because everyone senses this is easy money and the shelves are crowded. But solve one small annoying problem cleanly: a wedding seating chart, a fitness tracker, a set of classroom labels, and the same file can sell for years. Build it once, price it low, and let a good template quietly deposit money long after you've forgotten you made it. Number 12. Referral and affiliate links. Every time you tell a friend about a product you love, you are doing free advertising for a company that would gladly have paid you. Affiliate and referral programs simply cut you in. You share a special link, someone buys or signs up, and a commission lands in your account. A gym trainer named Marcus started dropping links to the protein and equipment his clients always asked about anyway, and the small commissions added up to a couple of $100 a month for recommendations he was already making for free. Bank apps, streaming services, and phone plans often pay flat referral bonuses too, sometimes $50 or $100 per sign-up. The trap here is getting greedy and spamming people who trust you, which burns the whole thing down fast. Done honestly, though, it is elegant. You recommend only what you genuinely use. The link does the paperwork, and the trust you have already built with people slowly converts into a steady, low-effort stream of monthly cash. Number 11. Renting out your driveway. Here is where things get interesting, because this one requires you to own almost nothing but a slab of concrete. In cities near stadiums, hospitals, airports, and downtown offices, parking is a nightmare, and people will happily pay for a guaranteed spot. Apps now let you list your driveway, your extra parking pad, even a stretch of curb space you control by the day or the month. A woman named Carla lived 4 blocks from a baseball stadium and started renting her 2-car driveway on game days for $20 per car. On a good weekend, her empty concrete out-earned a shift at work. If you live near anything that draws a crowd, that unused space beside your house is quietly one of the most valuable things you own. You do nothing but leave the spot open. No product, no labor, no wear and tear beyond a set of tires sitting where nothing sat before. For a lucky few, a driveway becomes the easiest rent check in America. Number 10. Renting out your storage space. Look at your garage, your basement, your spare closet, that shed out back. To you, it is clutter. To someone in your town whose apartment has no room for their kayak, their holiday decorations, or their motorcycle over the winter, it is a solution they will pay monthly for. Storage sharing platforms connect people who need space with regular folks who have it to spare, and the pricing beats commercial storage units by a mile, which is exactly why it fills up. A retiree named Frank cleared out half his garage, listed it, and started collecting $140 a month for square footage that used to hold nothing but old paint cans. The magic is that space is the ultimate passive asset. It does not break, it does not need attention, and once someone's stuff is in there, they tend to stay for a long, long time. Clear a corner, take a few photos, and let empty space become one of the quietest, steadiest checks you'll ever cash. Number 9. Vending machines. This is the modern version of that Kansas shopkeeper's coin box, and it still prints small, dependable money. A single well-placed machine in a busy laundromat, gym, or office lobby can net $50 to $300 a month in pure margin, restocked in 20 minutes a week. A former warehouse worker named Tony bought one used machine off a classified ad, talked his way into a spot at a mechanic's shop, and reinvested every dollar into a second machine, then a third. Within a year, he had a small route he serviced on Sunday mornings. The whole business runs on one boring truth. People are impulsive, thirsty, and lazy, and they will always pay a premium for a cold drink they can grab right now. The keys are location and reliability. A great spot is worth more than a fancy machine. Start with one, learn the rhythm of what sells, and let a little metal box collect quarters for you in a corner you visit once a week. Number 8. Coin laundry. Everyone needs clean clothes, and millions of Americans have no washer of their own, which is why the laundromat is one of the most recession-proof cash businesses on this list. You do not need to buy a whole storefront to get in. Some people start by taking over the routes of existing machines, splitting revenue with a property owner, or buying a small card and coin operation from a retiring owner. A couple named Dev and Renee bought a tired 6-machine laundry room inside an apartment complex, replaced the worn units, and turned a neglected corner into $800 a month with almost no daily labor. The appeal is simple. The machines run themselves. Customers do their own work, and demand never really falls. because dirty clothes are eternal. It is not glamorous, and you will get calls about a jam dryer now and then. But few small businesses combine steady cash, low staffing, and this much stubborn everyday demand, quietly spinning quarters into a monthly income. Number 7. Renting out your car. That car sitting in your driveway loses value every hour. It isn't moving, which means for most Americans, their second biggest purchase is also their laziest asset. Peer-to-peer car-sharing apps let you rent it out to vetted travelers and locals, complete with insurance and a screening process, so your idle vehicle earns instead of just depreciating. A rideshare driver named Sophia had an older sedan she barely used after switching to a new car and started listing it. It brought in $400 to $600 a month renting to visitors who needed wheels for a few days. The people who make this really work often buy a cheap, reliable, fuel-efficient car specifically to rent and let it pay its own loan while turning a profit on top. There is wear and risk, of course, and you have to trust the platform's protection. But if you have a spare vehicle or the stomach to buy one for this purpose, it can quietly cover a payment and then some, month after month. Number 6. Renting out your backyard pool. Controversy incoming, because this one sounds absurd until you see the numbers. There is now an entire app built around letting people rent private swimming pools by the hour, and pool owners are stunned by what strangers will pay for an afternoon of splashing with their family. A homeowner named Brian, who was honestly tired of paying to maintain a pool his teenagers had outgrown, listed it for $40 an hour on summer weekends. Between birthday parties, photo shoots, and families with no pool of their own, he cleared over $1,000 in a single, hot month. The genius is that you already own the expensive, hard-to-build asset, and you are simply selling access to the hours you weren't using it anyway. It works for more than pools, too. Backyards for dog owners, gardens for photo sessions, driveways for basketball. If you have a space people wish they had, someone in your town will happily pay to borrow it for an afternoon while you do nothing at all. Number 5. High-yield savings and CD ladders. This is the least sexy entry on the list, and that is precisely why it belongs here. Because boring money is often the most reliable money. Your regular bank pays you almost nothing to hold your cash, while high-yield savings accounts and short-term certificates of deposit pay meaningfully more for the exact same dollars, fully insured and completely hands-off. A cautious saver named Ellen moved her emergency fund out of her big bank's near-zero account and into a high-yield account, then staggered a set of certificates of deposit, so one matured every few months. Without touching a single risky investment, her sleeping money began generating real interest every month. There is no hustle here, no customers, no maintenance. It is simply refusing to let your savings sit somewhere that pays you nothing. The catch is that it takes money to make money this way, and the returns match the safety. But every dollar you already have could be quietly earning. And for most people, it simply isn't. Fix that, and the cash appears on its own. Number 4. Dividend stocks. Imagine owning a tiny slice of a company that mails you a check 4 times a year just for holding on, whether the stock goes up, down, or sideways. That is a dividend, and it is one of the oldest ways ordinary people have built quiet income in America. You do not need to be rich to start. Fractional shares mean you can begin with the change in your pocket. A factory worker named James put a small amount into dividend-paying funds every payday for years, reinvesting each payout to buy a little more. And slowly the checks grew from pennies to a number that actually mattered. The power is in the snowball. Each dividend buys more shares, which pay more dividends, which buy even more, compounding silently in the background of your life. It is slow, and the market will scare you along the way. But this is genuine ownership, not a gimmick. And for the patient, that trickle of quarterly checks can grow into a stream that never asks you to clock in. Number 3. Leasing space on your land. Here is where owning even a modest piece of property becomes a hidden gold mine, and almost nobody thinks to ask. Billboard companies pay landowners near busy roads to put up signs. Cell carriers pay for a corner of a lot to place a tower or antenna. Solar developers, farmers needing extra acreage, and even beekeepers will pay to lease land that would otherwise just sit there. A rural couple named the Hendersons were approached about a cell tower on the far edge of their property and ended up with a lease that paid them monthly for ground they never walked on. The astonishing part is how little you give up. A billboard takes a few square feet. A tower sits in a corner. You keep living your life while a company pays you rent for space you weren't using. Not everyone has the right location, and these deals require reading the fine print carefully. But if a company ever comes knocking about your land, understand that the dirt you own may be worth far more standing still than you ever imagined. Number 2, renting out a spare room. Most people look at a spare bedroom and see a guest room used twice a year or a place to pile laundry. A sharper eye sees a monthly paycheck. Renting that room to a long-term tenant, a traveling nurse, or a short-term guest can bring in anywhere from $500 to well over $1,000 a month, often covering a huge chunk of your own housing cost in the process. A widower named Walt, rattling around a house that felt too big and too quiet after the kids left, took in a steady renter and found he had gained both income and company. The math is hard to beat because the house is already paid for, or already being paid for. The room is pure upside. Yes, you trade some privacy, and choosing the right person matters enormously. But of every income stream on this list, few move the needle on your monthly budget as fast as this one, turning unused square footage inside your own home into rent that shows up like clockwork. And finally, number 1, turning your rent or mortgage into income. This is the crown, because it takes the single biggest bill most Americans pay every month and flips it upside down. The idea, often called house hacking, is simple. Instead of paying to live somewhere, you arrange things so that living somewhere pays you. It might mean buying a small 2-unit home, living in one side and renting the other, so a tenant covers most or all of the mortgage. It might mean renting out the basement, the finished garage, or a backyard casita. It might mean a roommate in a place you already have. A young couple named Miguel and Dana bought a modest duplex, moved into half, and rented the other half for enough that their own housing became nearly free, freeing up hundreds of dollars every single month to save and invest. That is the quiet revolution here. Housing is the largest expense in almost every budget, the one that feels permanent and unbeatable. But the people who crack it stop pouring money into a landlord's pocket and start collecting it into their own. Every other stream on this list adds a little on the side. This one rewrites the biggest number on your page, and once it clicks, your whole financial life shifts beneath your feet. So there they are, 20 quiet ways ordinary people turn what they already have: spare space, idle stuff, a little land, a few dollars, into cash that shows up every month. Pick one, just one. Set it up this week and let it start working while you do. Then tell me in the comments which one you're trying first, because I want to see which of these quietly changes your math the way it changed theirs.